Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Welcome to a special edition that we've got on this tour where we get some inside info from some journalists and some people in the know. As you see next to me right here, we've got Melissa from Sky Sports News. Melissa, thanks for coming on and talking to us. How have you found the tour so far?
Very tiring, as you know. Wild having to deal with the humidity in Thailand, having no appetite there, coming here, and you're thinking, we know it's colder, but this was like UK winter cold.
Yeah.
So, yeah, different acclimatizing going on.
It has been strange, actually, going from Manchester weather to actually Manchester weather halfway across the world. So. And
then to see everybody at home talking about heat waves and the hottest day on record, and we're freezing our asses off.
I know. Well, just want to open up by saying there's a clip that went viral on Sky Sports on Twitter the other day about you reporting on a ceiling. You just want to clear that up on what happened there. We know what happened, but it's your chance now just to say there wasn't an issue behind the scenes. It actually was a set, wasn't it?
It would have been quite cool, though, if I was reporting from a ceiling, to be quite fair. That could have been my claim to fame. No, that was the actual set of United's kit launch. I think they had like a down-under theme. Everything was upside down. You had balls hanging from the ceiling and stuff. And I thought that had gone out. United put that out everywhere. So I assumed United fans will have known that was the kit launch, or maybe they just wanted to say I was reporting on the ceiling or messed up a green screen.
Well, in the social media world, we know all too well that happens, don't we, everybody? Yes, we do. Anyway, Melissa, you have had some inside access and the fans want to get all the inside gossip on what's been going on. You had a sit down with Ten Hag the other day. A lot of questions have been asked within the fan base right now. I just want to know if it was touched on at all with the Frenkie de Jong. You've been covering this all summer. It must be tiresome for you. Is there any sort of update? He's gone on tour with Barcelona now. Would that indicate the end of this? Because we as fans see that as like, oh, that's like the end. Is there more to this though?
Well, you have to think about how many players have actually moved when they've already gone on tour, and actually it is a lot. So I don't think that is the end. And I asked Ten Hag about it, and he was saying, listen, as a manager, your ideal scenario is before you leave for pre-season, all your new signings are in, because you want them to get accustomed to your way of playing, your demands. Now, you can tell that there's some leeway with that in terms of who he's targeting, because all the players technically and tactically are well versed with what he'd expect from them, philosophy-wise. And so De Jong obviously has played under him, knows all the demands. So you're thinking it doesn't particularly matter from a getting to grips with his demands. That will come. Obviously, the chemistry with teammates is an important factor, which is why you'd want people in. And I kind of asked him, are you calm and confident about the situation? And he said yes. Everything we're hearing is that he was the priority target, so they will do everything possible to get it over the line. It's not in United's hands, though. And, you know, when United were telling us that they've got an agreement in place with Barcelona, they were also very clear in saying there are significant complications that are not to do with them. And we know about the deferred payments. Now, De Jong's preference was to stay at Barcelona. He has also been very clear about that. But a club doesn't get so far in a negotiation process if they don't know the player wants to come. And he's intimated that to the manager. And so now it's just about him and Barcelona resolving their issues in a financial sense, and the fact that Barcelona do want to sell him before he can come to United. The club also do say, though, that there is a point. You cannot wait forever for De Jong, that they've got alternate targets and they will move on to them if need be.
So the voices at Manchester United are saying to Ten Hag that we're happy to back you with this and go as far, but it'll come to a point where we need to actually fill that void if this isn't being done. And like you said then, with Ten Hag and with you speaking to him and him talking personally to Frenkie de Jong, that's where the confidence is still there from Ten Hag, that relationship that was there before.
Yeah. And listen, if Barcelona are forcing him out the door, he can't really stay, especially if they're not going to remedy the salary issue. They're insisting he needs to take a pay cut and those deferred wages need to be forgotten about. And his agents are like, no, this is a contract you negotiated. Why does he now need to not honor the contract that you guys made? So in terms of De Jong, and there's a lot of talk, especially coming out of Spain, saying he does not want to move to Old Trafford. If he made it abundantly clear that he didn't want to go to United, United wouldn't have spent this entire summer negotiating, reaching an agreement, and waiting on him. They're waiting on him because he's told the manager that he does want to reunite with him. But obviously there's all these complications to work out with Barcelona. What I will say about United is, if you look at the players they brought in so far, Malacia, Eriksen, Martinez, they are giving Ten Hag everything he wants. It's not like these are players the club have scouted for the last 2, 3, 4 years. These are players the manager knows very well, has wanted, and so they're saying, we're giving you everything you need to succeed. And he, in everything you can tell from him, he's quite happy with how things have gone. Obviously, he would have liked the signings sooner.
Yes.
And every day that, for example, Eriksen dragged on and Martinez dragged on, it meant that making this flight to Australia became a silly thing to do.
Became more logistically impossible, didn't it? I mean, the travelling for 2 days, we was hoping, but like you said, for 2 days travelling probably it would have took too long. But a quick one on that, you covered the Northwest teams. Was there any truth in the rumour of Bernardo Silva going to Barcelona? And would Barcelona have had to have moved Frenkie de Jong on? Is there any push from that side of it? Because we heard a rumour that was actually happening. Do you have anything on the Bernardo Silva with City going to Barcelona?
So Bernardo Silva in Spain, reports are saying basically the agreement is there in place with Barca. When you look at what the business Barcelona have done, Rafinha, Lewandowski, players that they waited a long time to register as
Somehow
well, that they've signed. They do need to, it's not like it's hinging on one more player to come before they can let him go. It's nothing like that. The only reason it hasn't been resolved is because the salary conundrum is a massive one. They are forcing a situation on him. You can stay if you take a pay cut and if you overlook those deferred wages, or you go.
Yeah.
And, they keep saying, oh, we don't really want to sell De Jong, but La Liga's fair play rules and salary restrictions mean we need to. No, if you didn't buy players when you can't really afford to buy them and register them, then you wouldn't need to sell De Jong. So Barcelona, I know, are actually annoying a lot of sporting directors and a lot of club executives.
Fans.
Around here, and a lot of fans around Europe because of the way Bayern, by the way, they really pissed Bayern off with the Lewandowski pursuit as well. So they're kind of creating their own rules as they go along, especially with contracts and trying to force players to accept less than what was agreed upon. And it's in all of this, I know we're so tired of repeating where the deal stands and stuff, but I feel really sorry for the player. Yeah,
it does. It comes across that way. It does now. You're looking at it going, we know facts now in this deal and nothing's really coming across bad for Frenkie de Jong. He just wants an outcome. And if everything that he's owed, it's like you can't help but feel sorry for him in that situation. Yeah. He's wanting what is his at the end of the day. I mean, you talked about things that drag on. I'm sorry to ask you this. It's another one. Cristiano. Ten Hag said, I've seen a clip where he said he is still 100% planning ahead for Cristiano Ronaldo. We've seen the way that front three has played here on tour so far this season. I personally struggle to see how Ronaldo fits in that style. I think it will change. And again, it comes down to that question that you probably asked Ten Hag in terms of you want all your players here. Do you feel like he is, you get the feeling like he's wound up that Cristiano didn't come out on tour?
So there's a few elements with Ronaldo. The first is it is unequivocal that he wants to leave because he has been shopped around and clubs have made it, they've revealed that
was
he's
there any
been offered
indication
to them.
that was earlier than what came out, or was it just dropped on everyone when we all heard about it with Ronaldo?
I think it was, if anything, maybe a week, 2 weeks prior, but not like a massive runtime. I know that part of the pitch Mendes has been giving is the commercial growth and impact and of shirt sales, of your social media numbers as a club.
To cover, say, a wage that you would demand.
But also, Ronaldo is a fading force. He scored loads of goals last season, but in terms of his general play, in terms of elite clubs and how they want to perform and winning the Champions League and all those kind of things, he's not the allure in a football sense that he once was. So you have to skyrocket that marketing element and stuff. And that's why Chelsea, under new ownership, were the most intrigued and the most magnetized by this, because a new ownership group getting in Cristiano Ronaldo, bumping up those shirt sales, marketing opportunities, bringing sponsors on board, your social media numbers ballooning, that appealed. And then from the football side, Thomas Tuchel was like, this doesn't really make sense for us and what we're trying to do. Bayern Munich, no. Barcelona, no. Napoli, no. So every club so far that's kind of been linked with him, Atletico Madrid also said financially not viable. So
I'd say Ronaldo and Simeone is a partnership in hell, personally. I can't see that one after what happened with him at Juventus. But yeah, it looks like the number of clubs is just dwindling down, doesn't it?
So it looks like as this drags on, and Mendes has many tricks up his sleeve, as we even saw with the City United deal and how late that all came off. But it looks like he will stay at Old Trafford. Now, Ronaldo's physical condition is peak. So you're not thinking he's missing out on fitness, right? He's fit. But he's missing out on the new manager's tenets, everything. How Ten Hag disciplines the team, the training drills, the triggers, pressing triggers, everything that you're meant to pick up, he's missed out on, right?
On that there, you make a good point on that, because it's like Martial could go through his tour and score every single game and the system looked great, but a figure and a powerhouse like Ronaldo would demand to play football. That would cause a problem for Ten Hag in our eyes. And how I see it, it's like all of a sudden you've got a player that doesn't know what you just mentioned in the triggers and how the press and how everyone in that team works. And that could really scupper the start of the season if Ronaldo comes in. That's how the fans are sort of looking at it now in the comments that I've got. And you pretty much just said then yourself, it is like that. It's coming across that way as a worry.
And the thing Ten Hag said, he was asked, how does Ronaldo fit into your style of play? Because it is quite fluid. You mentioned the movement of that front three, the way they're working in the half spaces, the link up with midfield. It's been very fluent and very collaborative. You can tell a lot of what the manager's changed for the better. And he said, listen, a player like Ronaldo, you alter to him. When you've got a goal scorer, the team has to work around the goal scorer. So that then tells you that all of this that we've seen does become different when Ronaldo's your focal point. What I will say about the manager, and it'll be quite interesting to see how he deals with it when Ronaldo does return to Carrington, if he does, because he's not let the absence of Cristiano detract from this preseason. And that could have been quite a huge destabilizer for this entire tour because of the scale of Ronaldo, that he covets headlines and stuff. But the focus has been really on the training sessions and how well the players have adapted. And that's a credit to the manager and to the squad. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals with it when Ronaldo is actually in and amongst things.
Yeah, definitely. So far, we've seen you breaking the news on Eriksen. We've seen it on Martinez. Who else is there apart from De Jong that we don't know about? We've seen Fabrizio Romano come out today and quash the Jonathan Klaus rumours that possibly that was a new right-hand-sided player for us. I'm looking around and I'm going, I don't see anything else out there. Is there anything else out there mixing around that we don't know about yet that could possibly happen?
Well, Ten Hag did admit that he is looking for offensive reinforcements.
There's a list.
Yeah.
There's a list.
Now we know that they like Anthony from Ajax, and they have had discussions with Ajax over him. New manager there has made it put it in no uncertain terms, he wants to keep him.
Yeah.
And the valuation of around £70 million is a bit steep for a player that doesn't have the pedigree to suggest a kind of fee like that. So that's on the back burner. I know they've put inquiries to quite a few forwards. Sky Germany reported that they were looking at Stuttgart's number 9. And so they are quietly going about looking at attackers. But
Quiet would be good for a change.
Yeah.
It would.
But I also think he's wanted to see how Martial and Rashford look and adjust to what he wants from them in preseason. And you look at it and you're saying, well, they've done actually pretty well. And both of them look quite sharp in terms of their conditioning, but also their reaction times to things and wanting to work off the ball, covering ground. So on De Jong, and I think this applies to every position really that he doesn't box off that he wanted to strengthen, he said, we'll find a solution from within if we need to.
Yeah.
And Ten Hag is a manager with an exceptionally strong development background. He will thrive in a situation, I think, where he needs to take someone and say, okay, right, we are now going to shape you into
Is that where that comment from yesterday came from that was quoted regarding we work with what we've got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, quite a few managers do that quite well. Mauricio Pochettino's one, Jurgen Klopp's one. When you have to find a solution from within, whether that means switching somebody from left back to right back, or we saw him use Tellez as a centre back, for example, in the one.
I know, I didn't expect that at all. He actually played better in centre back than he does at left back, but I would be scared if that happened this season. I really would. But
yeah, but I think if push comes to shove and he needs to coach a player into a position, I think he'll back himself to do that because of that strong development focus. There's actually quite a lot of talent, as you'll know, like you look at Savage and Iqbal. There's a core of really good youngsters, I think, as well, that fascinates him, that he can work with.
You can see that very clearly. It's like we've seen what he did with the players that he brought through at Ajax. I think you're saying there he would thrive in that situation just to prove that you don't need to spend the big bucks.
Yeah, but it's whether he's given the time and the patience to do that. Because, I mean, the expectations naturally at a club like United are stratospheric for good reason. And United ultimately have to return to being a powerhouse domestically and in Europe. And so how he balances his tendency for development and for process versus results is going to be one thing. But he himself is, you can tell, he's incredibly competitive, and he does, preseason is basically workouts. Every 45 minutes is just a workout, players getting rhythm and stuff, and how they
they've said that's been intense as well, haven't they? So
how they acclimatize to what his requirements are from them. But you can tell how much he wants to win every match as well already, even though it's just pre-season.
I will take that all day long. I mean, you've been busy already on this tour with, like I said, the announcements of players coming into Manchester United. I've got a feeling you're going to be busy with the outgoings probably when we get back off this tour. There's a few names that United fans are putting out there like, why are they still here? There's a lot of players at this club right now. Is there any sort of rumours in terms of the outgoing section with the club? There's a lot saying about Jones, Eric Bailly, players like this that quite clearly with Martinez coming in now, Eric Bailly's days are looking like they're numbered. Is there any sort of suitors for anyone coming forward for these players?
Here's the issue. United, I think, would have, even before they flew out, would have loved to have trimmed the squad. But players are on very, very lucrative contracts, which puts off clubs. And you see the trend that's happening now in Europe is Premier League clubs are having to sell to each other because the other clubs can't really afford Gabriel Jesus City to Arsenal.
Or the players take the club to a free transfer situation like we've had in several cases this summer.
Exactly. So when you've got big contracts that clubs around Europe who ordinarily would be in for a caliber of player think, well, actually no, because we can't really afford this, then that becomes an issue. Ten Hag wants to work with a small squad. We know that historically from Ajax, and so the squad needs to get trimmed. Who's coming in with the offers? United, even before the summer, towards the end of last season, they were putting it out there that, club are open to offers for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for example.
Yeah.
Now they're going to take quite a hit when somebody does come in.
Are they willing to take that hit?
I think they are. They just need to reduce the numbers in the squad. They also need to not just trim it down for now, but also create space for, future incomings. And it's funny that you asked that question because, only had a limited time with the manager yesterday. But that's one of the things I was going to ask him. We're so focused on who you're signing.
Yeah.
But that squad is bloated. Like, are you a bit worried that?
Yeah, because that brings up that sort of bad atmosphere. If one player who's not getting game time then starts kicking off and isn't around that dressing room, it's a distraction and a problem that Ten Hag doesn't need in his first season with all the change that's going on as it is. And I suppose if young players are getting game time ahead of so-called senior players on these lucrative contracts, their back may be up and this could cause problems.
Yeah.
So the club need to really get behind him in terms of taking that hit and trimming that squad to suit him to get the best results out of the team that's there.
Yeah, I think if offers do come in, then they will let quite a few go. Like, as you say...
Like Pereira on a knockdown price.
Central defence is so stacked at the minute, as is, left back.
A lot would say we haven't got one good one out of a lot of that. So
you've got a World Cup winner and a 4-time Champions League.
Varane gets out of that one, but the jury is out on literally everyone but Varane, and there's 6 centre-backs there. We've seen Axel go home early. We were thinking, would that actually him going to another club? It was turned out to be personal reasons. But Axel's another one. You've got Laird, even likes of Menge, who are looking for first team action coming in, young lads who are not on the tour here. The squad is massive, to say the least. And for, like you said, then Ten Hag to want a smaller squad, it's going to take a lot of backing and a lot of work. More than probably, like you said, the incoming side of things.
Yeah. And in general terms, clubs will cut the fat first before they start thinking about...
A well-run club.
Yeah. But I think as well, just the context of the financial situation around Europe, where all the money is in the Premier League, really, it means you need clubs in England to start coming in.
Pereira to Fulham, prime example of that there, isn't it? Like the Premier League money for getting promoted. It's exactly what you said.
Exactly.
Let's finish up. You've been on the tour now. You've had that inside access to Ten Hag. You've touched on it in a few points there. How has he come across? How is he as a man to speak to when you get him on that one-to-one level? You said there he comes across as a winner. Do you feel like he feels like he's in control of what's going on? Does he seem to have a grasp of it?
Totally. You know what? I was a little bit concerned because I thought there's so much upheaval behind the scenes, complete restructuring of the scouting department, so much change, and so much work needed to be done in the window because there were, how many players left. And I thought, this is a lot for one man to come in and immediately get under control and put his stamp on the team at a club as ginormous as United. And you know what? He's come in and been dealt the Ronaldo hand. And like I said, not let that distract from anything he's doing. Training sessions from all accounts, like speaking to staff, speaking to players, they've been intense, they've been good. The players are looking sharper than they have in a very, very long time.
Yep.
We've seen David De Gea coming off his line, constructing play from the back. You already see so much of what he's trying to imprint, players taking it on board, and actually having the confidence in possession and stuff. You can see some of that swagger and some of the bravery to want to make mistakes. Not be safe, not be safe, not hide.
Yes.
And so I've been very impressed by what he's done so far. Obviously, so much to run of preseason, and we can only really tell when competitive games start. And I still think he needs to get a few more transfers over the line. Like, United can't go another season with people saying, "Where's their midfield anchor? Where's your?"
Dare I say it?
Yeah.
Why is it still McFred in the midfield?
And maybe, you know what, with the manager playing a more progressive, proactive approach that actually does suit Fred in a way, but you think, okay, right back. Are you happy with your starting right back? Are you happy with this? Are you happy with that? But in general, from the tools he was given, the Ronaldo curveball, but how he is in control, and you can tell the discipline and stuff is back. I think it's been good, very, very good.
That's what we want to hear as United fans. Guys, cheers for watching. Cheers for tuning into this special edition. Melissa, thank you very much for coming on and speaking to us.
From the ceiling now.
Yes, she's off to report back from the ceiling. Guys, that was just the backdrop at a launch for the kits in the square in Melbourne Centre. So let's put that one to bed, eh? Guys, cheers for watching. Obviously, like, share and subscribe to the United Stand. Melissa, thank you very much. And we will be back with another one of these shows, hopefully while the tour is going on. So do stay tuned for them, guys. We'll keep you updated on all our socials going forward. Cheers for watching, everybody.
The United Stand on tour. Supported by Wash and Go.